I am ready.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Township of Lacey Caucus meeting, January 13, 2022. Adequate notice this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon. It was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. We'll start with a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number one, authorization for Deputy Mayor to perform marriage ceremonies.
By statute, we have to authorize at a governing body meeting for the deputy mayor to perform marriage ceremonies in the absence of a mayor, or if the mayor can't make a ceremony. Can I have a motion to approve that?
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye. Item number two, baseball registration, request to post signs.
The Lacey Little League is going out for open registration, and they are looking to post signs around the community for 2 weeks. So they'll have, instead of 1 week, and they want to put out about 25 signs for next month. Motion to approve?
Move it. All in favor? Aye. Item number three, budget meeting dates.
Well, it's that time of the year, and we need to decide on budget meeting dates. I propose to you the first and third Thursdays of the month, starting February 3rd. I didn't know if you wanted to do 6:30, 5:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. Whatever floats your boats, guys.
I'd like to do, is it possible to do 5 o'clock?
I can make that happen.
10 and 5 o'clock good for you?
Yes.
Date of the third Thursday in April?
No, we're not in April. It's
Just, okay, that's fine.
just February and March.
February and March, good.
Yeah, the 2 dates in April, that one date in April is the second Thursday, and the one date in May is the second date in May, if I can introduce and adopt by that point.
Now, actually, I know I said 5, but you can't, you do it at 4:30?
I could be in
Is
at
that
4:30.
I'm fine for whenever.
Tim, are you okay for 4:30?
Yeah, I'll get off the golf course.
You're funny. Yeah, we could do 4:30.
Yeah.
And that works great.
Talking about 4, I'm right here, we're on 4. Okay.
That works great.
Anything else?
The only other thing I wanted to update you on, because sometimes we don't come out in public with this, and obviously, you know, it's been a rough start to the year. We've already had 2 snowstorms that we've had to manage. So the first snowstorm that was on the 3rd of January was it cost us approximately $25,000. And then the snowstorm on the 7th was $13,000. Just so you know where we're at. And we're supposed to get some more snow this coming Sunday into Monday, if I'm not mistaken, which you have to remember Monday's a holiday too, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Township, welcome everybody to Township of Lacey meeting, January 13, 2022. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon and was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. We'll start with a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number one, resolution 2022-54, appointing Robert Kraska as Director of Public Works.
Resolution Township of Lacey, County of Ocean State, New Jersey, reappointing Robert Kraska as the Director of Public Works for the Township of Lacey. Mr. Kraska needs to be on a year-to-year appointment for the first 5 years in accordance with statute, and then after the 5th year, he does become tenured. So it's just a function of the statute. Can I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number two, resolution 2022-55, appointing a public safety telecommunicator for the police department.
Resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the appointment of Paul C. Tomasi as the full-time public safety telecommunicator for the Township of Lacey Police Department. He's happening to be starting Sunday night, guys, and he's the gentleman in the back row there. Give him a welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And and Mr. Dykoff.
Yes, congratulations, welcome. Item number 3, resolution 2022-56, appointing school crossing guards.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Motion State, New Jersey, appointing school crossing guards for the Township of Lacey. They are, let's see here, Ricky Blom and James Terselli. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 4, resolution 2022-57, authorizing the execution of a contract settlement with the SOA.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Motion State, New Jersey, authorizing execution of a contract with the Superior Officers Association Local 238 for the period of January 1st of 2019 through December 31st of 2026. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 5, resolution 2022-58, authorizing a leave of absence.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Motion State, New Jersey, authorizing a leave of absence for Shannon Quinn in accordance with the Federal Medical Family Leave Act.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 6, resolution 2022-59, accepting various retirements with the township.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Motion State of New Jersey, accepting the retirements of various municipal employees. Thomas Butler is retiring February 1st, 2022. He was a member of the Public Works Department. And Terry Stosky is retiring May 1st, 2022. She is a senior police records clerk with the police department. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Keep it
Mr.
there.
Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 7, resolution 2022-60, adopting a cash management plan for the year 2022.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Motion State of New Jersey, adopting a cash management plan for the year 2022. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 8, resolution 2022-61, authorizing the tax assessor to file assessor's appeals.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Motion State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax assessor to file an assessor's appeal to correct certain errors made on assessments for the year 2022, and authorizing the tax assessor as agent in filing petitions of appeals and rollback complaint forms. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 9, resolution 2022-62, authorizing the execution of a shared services agreement with the County of Ocean for the Move Over program.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing execution of an interlocal service agreement with the County of Ocean for the Prosecutor's Office Move Over Program. This is where we have members of our team and other agencies. We share services for enforcing and teaching and educating people about the Move Over law, and we're reimbursed by the county to do so.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 10, resolution 2022-63, authorizing the execution of a shared services program with the Board of Education for school crossing guards.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the execution of an interlocal services agreement with the Lacey Township Board of Education for school crossing guards. This is a renewal of the prior agreement with regards to one of the school crossing guard posts that the school board reimburses us for.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 11, resolution 2022-64, authorizing the execution of a shared services program with the Board of Education for Class 3 law enforcement officers.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the execution of an interlocal services agreement with the Lacey Township Board of Education for the Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officer Program. Our schools have the Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officers, and the school board reimburses the town for the costs of them.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 12, resolution 2022-65, authorizing a change order for the Sunrise Boulevard and First Street Improvement Project.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the execution and amendment to the contract with Swift and Sons Incorporated for the Sunrise Boulevard and First Street Road Improvement Project. This is a change order and final quantities. It was an increase in the original contract price in the amount of $5,892.08. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 13, resolution 2022-66, authorizing the release of a maintenance bond for the Railroad Avenue Extension Project Phase 1.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the release of a maintenance bond for P&A Construction Incorporated for the Railroad Avenue Extension Phase 1 project. This has been reviewed by the engineer and has been authorized to be released.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 14, resolution 2022-67, authorizing the release of a performance bond for road opening permit 4909.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing release of a site improvement performance guarantee posted by Lewis Pereira for road opening permit 4909.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes. Item number 15, resolution 2022-68, authorizing a refund of deposit monies.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the refund of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
I have no bills to pay tonight because we were not able to roll for 2022, so don't be surprised by the next bills list.
Monthly reports.
For the month of December, the municipal clerk's office collected receipts in the amount of $5,279.31. For the month of December, road opening permits were collected in the amount of $4,630. Recycling commodity in the amount of $1,181.60. Tire deposits in the amount of $222, and truck parking in the amount of $600. Municipal court for the month of November collected receipts in the amount of $8,317.18. For the month of December, in the amount of $10,912.43. Motion to accept the reports is read.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve township meeting minutes of December 21st, 2021.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve township meeting minutes of January 1st, 2022.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve raffle license applications for the Rotary Club of Barnegat, the Ocean County Foundation for Vocational and Technical Education, the Brotherly Order of Elks Charitable, and Lacey Township High School Booster Association.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any add-ons?
I have no add-ons.
Comments from the committee? Mr. McDonald?
I'm just gonna wish everybody a happy new year, and I'll save my comments for the 2 weeks when I'm there in person.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Curatolo?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We just want everyone to continue to remember Nick in their prayers and their hopes for a speedy recovery. He's our mayor, obviously, and we keep in touch with him, and we hope the best for him and for certainly his family, because he's beloved in our town. As Administrator Larray pointed out, we did have a snow event. I want to thank all our contractors, and in particular our Department of Public Works, our police, really all the employees in the town that came through and really helped us out. They clear our streets, they're in touch with our seniors, our police department does so much more than just law enforcement, so without them the town doesn't work. Some of those gentlemen and ladies are here tonight, so I want to give them a heartfelt thanks. The snow falls when it falls, and if it means they're away from their families 2, 3, 4 in the morning, then that's what it means, so we're grateful to them for that. I'll close tonight on a personal note. If you see Chief DeBella in town, give him your condolences. His dad passed away, and it's very unfortunate. Chief DeBella does so much more than law enforcement in this town. When I say Chief DeBella, I mean the entire department. I'm one of the liaisons to our police department. We all feel the same way about all of our department employees. But please keep the chief in your prayers. This week he was by his dad, and his dad passed away earlier in the week. So, Chief Mike, if you're here listening, TV land, just give you some time for some sympathy, and certainly call you in a couple of days. So God bless you and your family. That'll conclude my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curatolo. Mr. Kennis?
Thank you, Mayor. I tend to read a lot of stuff, a lot of newspapers, and every once in a while something sets me off where I have to prepare remarks to remember. So on Monday, the Biden administration announced that private insurers will soon have to cover the cost of 8 at-home COVID tests per member per month. 8, twice a week. That is more frequently than just about anything else I do. I don't know who comes up with these policies, but I bring this up to make 2 points. These aren't free tests. As of January 1st, my private insurance and premiums increased about $90 per month. That's $1,100 a year. That's a lot. Insurance is supposed to be used for emergencies. At-home COVID testing 8 times is not an emergency. And I'm not looking forward to next year's $90 insurance premium increase. But my major point is that there's just too much government in everybody's lives, Clean energy, climate change, vaccines, boosters, COA housing, that's not to say these things aren't important, but don't ever let anyone try to convince you that they don't come at a cost. They do. My comments.
Well said.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll start off with my condolences to Chief DeBella on the loss of his father. He was very close to him. I know these last several months he was down in Florida where his father lived very often to be with him. So my heartfelt prayers to him and his family. Of course, to Mr. Giuliano, Mayor Giuliano. He's got a tough road to hoe, but he's going to start, and we look forward to having him back here as soon as possible. So you can't go a day without it being National Something Day. National Tequila Day, one of my favorites. National Wine Day, National Steak Day. Well, this weekend was national or local or whatever, law enforcement day, and then volunteer firefighters day. So on those days, I know on social media there were many, many people who reached out and thanked our law enforcement and our volunteer firefighters, and we do that as well. I know recently there was a fire in town where they've all turned out and worked very hard together to save some folks and put the fire out, so we thank them. Congratulations to our retirees.
No retirees here yet, right guys? You're not?
I think so.
Congratulations to our retirees. I'm sorry, I can't say yes. Congratulations to our
I thought you
retirees.
knew something I didn't know.
No, I'm sorry. My eyes are not good. Thank you for your service to the township, and that's all I have. Thank you very much. I'll open the floor to public comment. Gina,
No, November, December.
name and address, please.
Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. There's a sign on the door. If you want to make masks optional, you need to change the sign on the door.
I'm not making masks optional here. I have a right to protect our employees here and you as, look,
Right, but you're not there.
well, up here it's kind of hard for you to hear us.
Alright, I'm just saying. I was at the MUA meeting last week, and remember I asked about rock salt?
Yes.
Guess what? I had to go to Aldi's a couple of days later, there was rock salt all over the place. So I spoke to the manager, he was not aware that their area is a wellhead protection area. He didn't know who was salting the parking lot. And I did notify one of the MUA commissioners, but Ms. Slemke and I did tell this committee 18 years ago that there should have been a wellhead protection ordinance there, and I prefer not to have salt in my drinking water. There's no telling how many times this little accident has happened, but I'm sure there's been rock salt in that area more than once. And I'd appreciate everyone looking into it, notifying the many new tenants and different owners that don't know about the operations agreement, that it's a wellhead protection area and they cannot use rock salt there. You cannot filter it out of the water system.
So they're run by a building management company and a property management company.
Some of them are independently owned and operated.
The buildings are all, I'm guessing, the buildings are all owned by the property management company. That whole
Not
site.
anymore.
No, it's multiple, it's
Okay,
multiple
okay.
stuff.
There's
So what we'll
multiple
do is
owners, and that's the problem.
we will formulate a letter.
Yeah,
And
it just,
notifying them that it is a wellhead protection area and that is prohibited.
and they have to please tell all their management people there, because there could be 2 and 3 shifts of management in any one of those
Oh.
buildings. I did find it also at the 2 new fast food restaurants as well.
Okay, so take care of it. Thank you very much. Good evening, name and address, please. You should lift up.
Yeah, it should.
Dave Hodgson, down Coffin Drive. Yes, Coffin Drive. I'm here to address street flooding
Okay.
down there. Ash.
What
So,
street again?
I'm in Wapoo, the wine streets down there. Is there a plan?
Yep. So if you give me some time, and in fact, you might have seen somebody out and about on the streets, they were supposed to be out, I think today, yesterday and today. There is a new, there's some valves in some of the dead ends of the cul-de-sacs.
Right.
They're not very good valves, they're not working, they go to that. There is a new mechanism out there that we have 2 in right now. One is on Hilo Bay, and I think one might be Island View, Riverview area.
Right.
And we have them on loan, and they've been working great. So I have the company, went out with a few of our public works people. If it wasn't yesterday and today, it will be happening to assess what size pipes and valves that we need, and by the spring, we will be putting them in.
Is there been ever a discussion of raising the streets up?
Well, we actually applied for a grant to do so, and the federal government did not give us the grant to do it. The BRIC grant, is that the BRIC grant? BRIC? Yeah, we applied for that in cooperation with, we applied for that in cooperation with the LMUA, and unfortunately, we got denied it because those streets don't go anywhere but into the water. They're not connector streets. If this was Lacey Road, I could get the grant and raise the road, but they're not connector streets, so they won't fund us the money because there's other streets throughout the country that obviously have higher priority than we do.
Recently? Because this
Back in November,
only been,
no, this is called, it's the BRIC grant, it's the BRIC grant, and, we did it, last fall.
well, this is new. This money that.
It's the same money, it's the same money, and they just keep putting more money into the Infrastructure Investment Act for that, yes.
The interesting part, and not to interrupt you, I spoke with Ms. LeRae, actually last week I stopped in her office to discuss this, because as I often mention, I'm pretty active on social media, and I was actually contacted by a resident via messenger about this issue, and so I said, what can we do? And she informed me about the grant. The other thing we can do is we can start going to our elected officials. We now have a new congressman in our district. In the past, we've had one who really was not responsive, Congressman Kim, to our wants and needs. So we've got a new one. So what I had proposed to her is we along with adjoining townships, Berkeley Township being one that suffers from the same things we do, along with our 9th district legislators, get together and start trying to get some possible the infrastructure money that was passed by the federal government. Now keep in mind, you have to understand, be careful what you wish for, because while they might raise the streets, well then property owners are about to raise their bulkheads, property owners are about to raise their houses, so it's not without cost. But it's got to start. Something's got to happen.
95% of the houses are all raised now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, you have to
Now
also
we're going
put
to
in
start.
Years
bulkhead.
ago, that was the excuse.
That was the issue. So now it's happened. So we're
Now it's
forced.
not.
But we're going to start working on some things with our representatives.
Right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good night.
Anyone else?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mike Sedlak, 325 Lawrence Drive.
Yes.
I'm inquiring to see if anything was submitted to the state in regards to updating the township's noise ordinance.
It's in the process of being drafted, we have to get approval from the state, and then we'll be able to enact it.
Right. Just making sure it's going forward so that,
Or not.
as long as you know, we come to you
And we get your correspondence.
for help because we've exhausted every possible avenue to correct the situation we have. And I just have a quick story. I work for the township of Pine Beach, the borough of Pine Beach, and Assemblyman Moran's daughter moved into a similar situation that we have. The town was able to get a cease and desist order and corrected the situation. So I was wondering, hopefully, if that's an avenue we can go, because
It may very well be, and there may be other remedies that we have available.
and you guys have
We're going to explore everyone we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Kelly Burnham, and I live on Hillside Place, and we own a property on Beach Boulevard, and I'd like to hand you these. Maybe like in school you could pass them down. I'm new to this town. We've only, we purchased the property on Beach Boulevard last February. We've moved into Hillside Place as a rental in April. You have a wonderful town. I love it here. I don't think that people who live here can appreciate the things that they have because they don't realize it. You don't see little bridges over lakes and the things that you do with your town. It's a small town feel, and I really like that. But you also have all these new businesses that are moving into town. You have Starbucks, you have a bunch of fast food restaurants that are moving in. That means that the town is growing, that they see a market analysis, that people are coming down here. They want to live in Fort Detrieve. Well, where we live, we don't have house on our property. And I have to say that also your town, Loretta in the town, was wonderful helping us. I spoke to Veronica. She was lovely when I spoke to her. but the people on Beach Boulevard need help. Bayside Beach Club, I am not a part of Bayside Beach Club. We did not pay our dues for Bayside Beach Club. I have nothing against Bayside Beach Club, but our property, which you can see, I sent pictures of, I gave you pictures of. The first picture was in the 1990s when there was a house on the property. It was a little bungalow in between Mr. Fiani's house and another house. I didn't know the
You mean
owner.
this one right here, this photo?
Well, no, that's when we bought it in February. That's what it looked like in February.
This one?
That one.
Okay.
That
So the
one.
with
Yeah,
the
okay.
grass all flooded.
Okay, so, but there was that property in front of that, that's the point. Then, the next picture is when we bought it last February, that was the picture.
This is all.
And then, the next picture is of yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday's.
And the picture after it also is of yesterday, and how there's been major erosion, and as I told Mr. Klump from the Beach Club, I can appreciate that the Beach Club owns the property, but now the water is past our property line. It's no longer there. And they've done the project out in the bay, which I have helped put the cages together and been with Captain Al, and I know that there's a second part of the project that needs to be done, and they need funding for the second part of the project. And I'm only one person, and I know there's a lot of personalities on Beach Boulevard, but we need someone who is more knowledgeable than I to help get funding, because we're not gonna have profit. It's gonna be gone. And I spoke to Dr. Farrell, who he speaks, you know, like, he's really smart, and when I talk to him, it's like speaking in another language. But he said, in 20 years, the water's gonna be at the street, and it's no longer gonna be a house. The houses are gonna be gone, and the water's gonna be at the street. So I know that you guys want the best for everybody in the town, and I'm sure that you've heard this over and over. But I'm asking, you know, if there can be something done, and Veronica did tell me to come in, you know, for a meeting, and I just think that I did go to Chris Smith's office. I gave him my letter that I wrote to the governor. I went to Andy Kim's office. I gave them a letter that I wrote to the governor. It's there, you can see it. I sent it to the governor, even though I know it goes to the DEP, there's a chain, you know, but basically, if it's just us, if it's just my voice, it has to be someone more than just me. So that's all.
Have you talked to Britta since on the
I
last time we
did
talked
speak to
about,
Britta.
because you had said, she said there's money available somewhere. and I
Well,
told you
Britta
I'd be
said that
willing
there's
to
sand
meet.
available for the second part of the project. She has sand that has been tested, that was dredged from another area that she has stockpiled, which is a big cost, the sand. But also, the people in the lagoons, from what I understand, because I'm new, and I just learned about this, and I'm a waitress. I don't, like, I'm not an advocate, like, I don't, the people in the lagoons don't like the people on the beach, because they keep putting sand on the beach. The sand goes into the lagoons, you can't drive your boat out of the lagoon because there's sand in it. So it's kind of like, so we need a groin, or I call it a jetty, that goes out that catches the sand. That's part of the project that they're asking for. But it's expensive, and I'm not saying, my kids cheered their whole life, all-star cheerleading, if anybody knows what that is. You have to be a fundraiser to do that. And I fundraised my butt off for that. I would fundraise. I joined the Elks to see if there was a way that I could get out in the community and help, you know. But it's more than that. The town has to put in, Dr. Farrell gave an outline. The town has to put so much money in, the state has to put so much money in, and the homeowners have to be responsible for it also. And the DEP doesn't want hard structures. You know, you could put bulkheading down the whole lagoon, but that's not what they're looking for. That's a last resort. They're looking for, right now, Mr. Klump wanted to put in something to help us in an emergency so that we would have something that helped us. And he said you can't put rocks down, which we really didn't want that anyway because it doesn't really help. how are you gonna contain the sand? Well, we don't know how to contain the sand. How do you contain sand? When wind blows, the sand's gonna go into the bay, unless there's that groin, there's no way really to contain the sand except with like plantings. I'm just saying, I don't know if there's a way, if any of you have a way to get our voice out so that we can be heard.
So, one of the problems is sort of what I alluded to before, that there's too much government. So the amount of red tape involved, the competing interests to do anything there, start making the costs exorbitantly high in order to sort of address a fix. It's not to say we don't try, but it is incredibly difficult to raise roads and do anything near the water, just getting the permits and approvals to do so. And then.
And we're not the property owner.
And then.
No, you're not the property owner, but when
We've had
there's destruction.
when we did, just for example, we spend a lot of money on coming up with the plan for the Bayfront Park. Just the engineering costs alone are, I forget what they were, 300,000?
Yes.
Something like that,
Right.
300,000 just to do it. So we do the plan. We don't sit there and try and jam it down somebody's throat what we want to do. The engineer comes up with the plan with some input from the township and then they submit it. Well, then it got approved by the DEP and then we got turned around and sued by, say, Barnegat Bay because they didn't because we were using hardscaping as opposed to,
But
whatever
now
they-
the DEP, and I'm not saying that you putting the rocks there and putting the gabbing on it is a bad thing. I'm sure that you did what the engineers told you to do and you thought was the best thing to do. Now the DEP says, no, that's not the best thing to do. And if you came, you're more than welcome, any of you, to come and stand on our property. Where the rocks end, the water goes around and erodes the rest of.
We're not allowed to just, we can't just go in and fix.
Oh, I get it, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying that you put the rocks there saying, oh, it's gonna erode that part of the thing. You do what you think that's best. Everybody was screaming that Mr. Fiani's wall is there and it's eroding what's around it, but Mr. Fiani had 100 yards in front of his wall, and no one's getting more damage than us who are on the side. But that wall was not a wall then, there was ground in front of it, so you.
So here's what I propose, and rather than tell you why we can't, and I'm not gonna tell you how we can't either, but let's try and educate a little bit more. So I would ask Ms. Larreyes, just a little sidebars to set up a meeting with myself or Mayor Giuliano comes back, maybe Mr. Kennis, whatever, and discuss with them what can be done. Well, apparently they have no money.
This is
That's
the
their
Bayside
problem.
Beach Club, because
Bayside
it's really
Beach
their
This is Bayside
responsibility.
Beach.
It's
Well,
their responsibility.
But it's really the whole beach, because if you see pictures where
Well,
you guys.
And that's the Bayside
It's the
Beach Club.
property owners.
The property
responsible.
owners.
And they are the property owners, so they're
Mhm.
responsible. Now, are they responsible to maintain it? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's something we have to determine.
Okay.
But until we ask the question, so it doesn't pay to tell you why we can't. Let's get some, give us a little bit of time.
Thank you. I
Right now,
appreciate it.
again, let me explain something to you. I'm the deputy mayor. Normally, this is something that the mayor would do, okay? And just because he takes the lead, so I have to give him the opportunity to take the lead on this. So give us a little bit of time. We're in a very difficult transitional time right now, but we're gonna, we still want to get things done.
I get it.
So,
Thank
we're
you.
gonna try. I'm not gonna say we're gonna get anything done, but at least we can educate ourselves and determine whether something can be done.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Sir? Good evening. Name and address, please.
Certainly. Harry Bender, Stark Avenue.
I didn't recognize you.
I didn't recognize
Just like
you.
I thought that was Terry Strosky back there, and it wasn't
Me.
because you had a mask on.
It's me.
Sorry.
Just to comment, and there's been discussion recently, at a number of meetings, about building the new town hall, et cetera, all the stuff that's going on. And Committeeman Ken has mentioned he's looking to the future, to get the rateable properties, getting businesses on there so we get money in for that. I just want to point out that with what's going on, and people can put their heads in the sand as much as they want, the water's getting higher all around the town, or the whole bay, it's getting higher. And I just want to know, looking to the future, okay? If nothing is done, when these houses go underwater, how are we gonna make up the tax rateables when people have to give up these homes? That's my question, because something has to be done. The water's coming up, okay? We need to take the best, the experts, like she talks about Dr. Farrell, he's an expert, he's renowned up and down the East Coast. Take the best plans, okay, and help these people. Even the people at the beach club, they're still taxpayers to the township of Lacey. And if you lose those rateables, that's tax rateables that you're losing. I just want to point out that if you're looking for the long haul and looking to the future, that's something that we have to take into account. And I thank you for your
Thank you,
time.
Mayor.
No.
Anyone else?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned?
Can
sorry.
I read the resolution to go to
You can.
executive session? No? Hold on. Resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act to discuss personnel matters. Can I have a motion now?
Move it?
Second.
Middle.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald? Okay, and Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Now we can do a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?